Alright, fellas. We got new Ryōshū ID to cover today. And oh god, that's 5 skills. That is skill 4! What do you mean, skill 4? Okay, let's go over skill 1. If the target has gaze or contempt, gain clash power, gain coin power for every X bleed, plus on the target, inflict tremor count and bleed count. Oh no, is she tremor? Tremor bleed. Gain more clash power if the target has gaze or contempt. Gain coin power for every X plus bleed or tremor. Or bleed and tremor. Inflicts bleed and tremor count. If the target has X plus tremor count, inflict tremor burst. Then reduce target's tremor count. For skill 3, it's a 3 coin skill. Oh, weird, she's Pierce. If the target has gaze, she inflicts more bleed potency and tremor potency. Add X plus sum of gaze on all enemies. Or Y plus sum of contempt on all enemies. Activate gaze of awe cascading beneath contempt instead. Okay. Gain coin power and deal more damage for bleed tremor conditionals. Inflicts bleed and tremor count, and as well as potency. Deals more damage for every X gaze on the target. For the third coin, which inflicts gaze on hit without cracking, it'll trigger amplitude conversion into tremor hemorrhage, and then it triggers tremor count. Skill 3-2 is a single coin skill, probably a nuke. Prioritizes targeting enemies. Yep, okay. It seems to have base attack weight of maybe 4? Probably 4. External effects cannot trigger the skill to be reused. Okay, good. Consume gaze or contempt on all targets that were hit. If target has contempt, deal more damage. Inflict tremor and tremor count. Inflict bleed and bleed count. Trigger amplitude conversion. Trigger tremor hemorrhage. Amplitude conversion to hemorrhage. Then tremor burst. And finally, skill 4. That is a E.G.O skill. First coin only deals damage against the main target. If the first coin wasn't a critical hit, and if she survived, oh, okay. So if the first coin is a crit, just ignore the rest of this. That's what I'm getting. Okay, that seems decent. And then Contempt of the Gaze. Gain Contempt of the Gaze. Of the Gaze, okay. Cool. Let's see how the passive works. Axe's hand I let something's hand I let slip. Unhit against enemies, inflict gaze. If she has gaze with contempt, inflict more gaze. If she used her base attack skills to consume gaze or contempt, then next turn, gain a bunch of gaze of contempt. Grasp that forbids falling. When staggered, gain protection, gaze of contempt next turn. On death, apply the following effects to enemy. 3 enemies with the most gaze or contempt. Okay. Inflict bind. Bleed and count. Bleed and bleed count. Inflict tremor and tremor count. That's probably gonna be a lot since it's on her death. Combat start. And Corp. Okay. Okay, so if she has Gaze of the Contempt, which should be pretty easy to get, then E.G.O's S3 will become the skill 4. Before using the skill, if the skill's main target isn't her, and she uses her base skills, then she uses her skill 1 as an unopposed attack against the main indiscriminate, or against the main target indiscriminate. Skill 1 deals less damage, and the skill does not kill the main target. Okay. Oh, wait, okay. Okay, so if the main target of the skill 4 isn't Ryōshū, then she goes to attack that main target so that E.G.O can have an easier time killing it. And the support passive... Okay, that's actually not bad. That's not bad. If the ally in the earliest deployment order hits an enemy, inflict bleed. If the target already has bleed, inflict bleed count as well. And the same for tremor. But is hit by an enemy. So tremor, the tremor version is tank, while the bleed version is actually going to fit pretty well as a bleed support passive. Tremor hemorrhage, it's just tremor scorch but bleed. Oh, why? We didn't need this. We didn't need this. We didn't need that. Gaze. Take and deal more damage from every X stack of gaze. Okay. On death, transfer transfers to one of the other enemies with the least gaze or contempt. And at turn end, if at X stacks, probably 7, then convert that into contempt. Take and deal less damage from and against Ryōshū. Okay. Targets with contempt cannot gain gaze. On death, transfer that to the same thing. Yeah, okay. Okay. So she seems pretty good. Probably not a must pull, but she seems pretty good. Okay. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.